My mom and I spent 7 years living on opposite sides of the country. She also solo camps and hikes and is the reason for my sense of adventure. And today we're headed from British Columbia to Washington to complete one of the hardest hikes in the state of Washington to win an overnight permit. Only 2% of people who apply for a permit are lucky enough to be randomly drawn and get to camp overnight here. But I'm lucky enough to be joined by the best adventure buddy. So we are taking on the challenge to hike 19 miles in one day with 5,000 feet elevation gain and 7,000 feet of descent.
Gonna want to put a bed on.
So normally Kira would sleep right here.
Good morning, Kira.
The battery pack would stay on the fridge, but because we have 2 of us back here, the battery pack fits in the middle console. Fridge is still plugged in nice. Our little fan can still reach the battery pack at nighttime.
This thing is only 25 bucks or something like that, and it's a game changer. We can actually wash our hands after the hike with this thing.
Please, sir, I'd like some more.
So it's pretty cozy in here with 2 people. As long as you don't have too much stuff, it all fits in the front seat. We've got our bug nets on the windows, our fan going, and it's the mountains, so it's 10 degrees colder than it was in Kelowna. Oh. You always gotta watch. So it's still light out, but we have to wake up at 4 a.m. So hopefully the bug nets and the front windshield cover will be enough shade to block out this midnight sun. Just kidding, we're not in the Yukon, but we wish.
Good morning.
Thank you. We're 2 hours behind schedule. We got up at 4 a.m. and we're at the wrong trailhead 2 hours away.
2 hours away, yeah.
So if you go to do this hike, don't go to Snow Lake Trailhead, it's Snow Creek Trailhead. I take it back, it is called Snow Lakes. There can be more than one Snow Lake Trailhead. There's so many cars though, this is gonna be a busy one.
Oh yeah.
We parked at Snow Lakes Trailhead and scheduled a shuttle for $25 each to take us to Stewart Lake Trailhead, where we would begin the point-to-point hike. The trail begins at one of Washington's most popular lakes, known for its blue color and surrounding mountains, but once you hike over the first pass, you start to lose the crowds and the real adventure begins.
I thought this trail was no bushwhacking. We had to go find a secret spot away from other people. For lunchtime, we've got a big bag of cheese buns, lots of carbs, and some sandwich meat on the side. It's called the deconstructed sandwich. It's about 6 kilometers to this lake. A lot of people just do it as a day hike. For some reason, we thought it would be a great idea to do the 30 kilometer through hike through this entire Enchantments part, and I think we're gonna lose a lot of the main day hikers. Now that is from the movie The Beach. These guys just have a single campsite over there on this beach right under the huge mountain, and we have to cross this boulder field and do some scrambling to get around.
The difficulty of this hike is unique. You don't have an option to turn around. Once you're in, you're in. It's not like attempting a tall mountain hike and running out of stamina and having to turn around. The only way back to your car is forward.
I made the mistake of not cleaning out my water filter, so the flow rate is so bad we can barely get any water out of it. So we're just gonna drink right out of the stream. Okay, hopefully that doesn't make us sick. We gotta do what we gotta do. Now I know, back flush my filter before going on one of these trips. So that's where we were swimming, and we just hiked all along, scrambled up this, and we're headed over this pass here. 2 feet in a heartbeat.
Love me a good scramble.
This has been a meat grinder getting up this Boulder Hill. We've pretty much only passed 1 or 2 people. I think most of the crowd stop at Kolchak. But I can understand why this is one of the hardest hikes in Washington to get an overnight permit for, because it is absolutely beautiful here. This way, come on. I mean, waterfall flowing from the glacier right there, and a peak. You look to our right, that's Kolchak down there where we just came from. I mean, we could not ask for a better day. You guys, look at this. It's so beautiful. We're truly in the Alpine. There's another lake over there. Let's go check it out. Just the two of you enjoying the view. This little guy, is it a marmot or a squirrel?
It's a little chippy.
A chipmunk?
If you didn't know, mountain goats like to lick human urine because of the salt and mineral. They're kind of addicted to it, so they are not afraid to get close to humans.
And we've only gone 10K and it's gonna be dark in a couple hours. We have 20 more kilometers. We have to go. I just cannot believe we've entered another world up here. We're in another dimension. This is where I would want to get the overnight permits to, rather than the lake down on the other side. It's so much more remote. There's hardly anyone up here. And I guess that's why it's hard to get a permit, because there's only a few tent pads and some mountain goats. Got it flowing. So this hike sucks because it gives me attachment issues. I've been here for 5 minutes, but we don't have enough time to stay, so we have to leave. I don't want to though. It's like, it was an amazing first date and we only got coffee, but I will never see them again. Came from over there where the lakes were and the goats, and it was very difficult to find the path. We started going that way and then had to backtrack. We are so lost. On a 30K hike, we don't have time to get lost. Doing this hike in the dark would make it 10 times harder. We do have headlamps though, obviously. You should always bring a headlamp, especially for this long of a hike, even if you don't plan to hike in the dark. I've been doing a lot of hiking solo and in really remote places, especially in Canada, backcountry. You can find spots where not a lot of people go to. So it's actually been really nice to have my mom with me as company and just be able to have quick little trail talks with other like-minded people on the trail. It's nice to see other people enjoying the outdoors. One group of people every 45 minutes. The beginning of the hike though, we were all in a train line. Most people didn't make it past the boulder wall though, so we have to cross, and there is a herd of goats. Wait for the little guy. So we thought this was our path, but we realized it's a goat trail. Their horns are so sharp. We'll just go the long way around them. So this is the toilet situation. There's a couple of these up here. And by no surprise, the goats are close by. They like to lick the salt from urine. Oh, they're fighting.
Dude, it's 4 o'clock. We have to go.
Oh my god, it's 4 o'clock. We're in the middle of the Enchantments. Actually, we haven't even got halfway yet, and it's 4 o'clock. It's so clear. I love when lakes are clear because then I'm not scared of what's underneath me, like sea monsters. I'm definitely gonna get a carrying case for my fishing rod. Oh, by the way, I bought my first fishing rod. It's just a really cheap one. So next week I'm going to try and teach myself how to use it, and I'll be taking you guys along with me for the learning process. So that should be fun. Well, this is definitely one of the more challenging hikes I've done in terms of distance. Honestly, I don't have the energy to speak anymore. Cheese bun and turkey meat. Do you see that baby? I think he was born yesterday. We have about 12K left, and this is the point of the hike where you just put your head down and you just keep walking. 2 feet in a heartbeat, right, Mom?
2 feet in a heartbeat. Gotta do it. Got no choice.
1 foot in front of the other. We have 2 hours until it gets dark. We're just glad we're past the technical parts, so we should be okay with headlamps. Wow, this is the end of one of the lakes. That is an interesting sight.
Yeah, it's an actual dam.
you think the beavers did this? I hope it was clear. I was just kidding.
The sun's setting. We gotta make it down. This is the last down of our hike. Come on.
What the heck is that waterfall?
That waterfall is wild. I don't even know if I explained this, but we were supposed to get on the 5:15 shuttle because we were at the wrong trailhead 2 hours away, and we started hiking at 8 o'clock. So we both agreed. The only thing we do differently is if we had more time, we would have jumped in the Alpine Lakes in the Enchantment Center after
Absolutely. Oh
Yeah.
my god, it was so gorgeous.
after Kolchak Lake. Would have been nice to jump in, but overall, it's been really awesome. We still have 8 more K. We've been going for 13 hours, it feels like.
All right, it's officially headlamp time. My mind's playing tricks on me. We are in serious pain right now. Our feet ache. And we just feel sick. I don't know why we feel sick, but it's just been too much. Even if an emergency did happen, a helicopter can't land here. The only way is to hike ourselves out. My mom just said, we got ourselves on this mountain. We gotta get ourselves off.
You guys hear that wind? Oh my god, it's really picking up. Dust is blowing in my eyes. So, I made it back. Welcome to my home office, and on this side of the wall is my gear storage. I've been on day trips before where I've been almost stranded. You may have seen my shorts where I paddled across the entire Lake Okanagan on a paddleboard with my dog, and if we didn't have the 10 essentials, we probably would have been in a lot of trouble. So I thought I'd show you my 10 essentials that every person should bring on riskier day trips. I'll link what I go through down below, but of course you always want to start off with the first aid kit. The most key piece in my first aid kit is Leuko tape. It is a next to skin tape. I don't use band-aids. It's preventative for blisters. You can put it on the back of your heels. If your sleeping pad pops, you can use it to basically mend anything. Also, if you do use something on your trip, it's a good idea once you get home to replenish, so I'm gonna do that. Perfect, so next is fire. I always bring a ferro rod with me. Next is also obvious, but it's sun protection. For me, it's a hat, a sun shirt, which I wore for basically the whole hike, and face sunscreen. So it's just a little travel one. So next is shelter. Some people will bring a tarp and paracord, but if you're just on a day hike and you're not anticipating this, I find it really big and bulky. So instead, what I've opted to do is get one of these emergency bivvies. This is just like under $20. And it's essentially a Reflectix blanket that's going to be able to cover most of your body. This is part 1 of my shelter. Part 2 of my shelter is a mosquito net. We need to sleep. The bivvy will cover my body, and then this will cover my head from bugs, horseflies, and spiders and stuff like that. Next is extra layers, and I kind of think of this in addition to shelter because it all works as one system. It was super hot and we weren't expecting cold temperatures even in the evenings, but I did still bring a fleece mid-layer. It's super light and packs up really small. This one's just from Eddie Bauer. Eddie Bauer has really affordable pieces when they go on sale. And I always bring my rain jacket. It helps with wind as well. This one's the Arc'teryx Beta Light, but any rain jacket will work. Next is a knife. Mora knife, I think is how you say this. I don't know, but I always bring this no matter where I go. You never know when you're gonna need a knife. 127 hours type situation. Next is extra food and water. I mean, you can last a couple days without food, but this is so essential for me. It's my water filter. We would just stop at a creek or lake when we needed to and drink straight from there. And then I have a little 3-liter waterproof bag that holds my electronics, a headlamp or a source of light. We hiked for 3 hours in the dark at the end, and this light was so essential. We also used the light from our phone, but our phones were dying. So I consider a power bank to be in my essential. This is technically an 11th item, but because my headlamp is rechargeable and doesn't run off batteries, I consider this a part of it. And probably the most important is your map system. So I had all digital maps for this hike because it was so popular. I downloaded it on AllTrails. So this, again, with a phone charger and a headlamp charger, this power bank is essential to power 2 of my sources. Most people would argue that even if it is a known area, you should have a physical map and compass. So this is one of Glacier National Park. It's waterproof, and I'll be sure to pack this. You can pick this up at just outdoor stores or gas stations near the area. And then I have a little compass as well, because otherwise you won't know which way you're going on the map. Another form of maps I've used is my Bivy. It's technically a satellite messenger, so if I was ever in trouble, I can press the SOS button on the bottom. You can also two-way text message from your phone through their app, even if you're out of service, to do checkups or arrange for someone to help if you didn't want a helicopter to come in or something extravagant. So that's the 10 essentials plus 2 bonus items. So that's it for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm packing for this weekend's adventure. I'm really excited. I'm getting back on the paddleboard with Kiro, and we're gonna try a new hobby. I can't stop collecting hobbies, so maybe I'll give you guys a tour of my gear room. Let me know if you would like to know how I store all the different types of gear I've collected. But thank you guys so much for being here, and we will see you next week.